MB is I mean he's someone that's into technology, and I discovered photography basically about 2 years ago. To me, it was kind of like an accident where it wasn't never planned. I never grew up like thinking that I'm gonna be a photographer. So the funny story is how it happened is I'm always used to going to the gym a lot, and what happened is I kind of stopped. So I had one of my best friends, like a brother to me. He dragged me out, and we started going to the gym. And the first day we went to the gym, his cousin brought a camera, and we used the camera to do videos and pictures. And like when I saw the quality of the pictures, like off the camera, and like right from that point, I'm like, you know what, I could use it as a motivation, motivation to get back to, getting fit in the gym and being consistent. And from that point on, it's like it was like a ripple effect where like I started going on YouTube because I wanted to learn a couple of things on how to go about certain things with editing the videos, editing the pictures.
Yeah.
And then from there, you know how YouTube works, where like if you start watching a couple of things that are similar, they start giving you things for like suggestions.
Exactly.
So then I saw photography. Then I saw things with Photoshop and studio. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. So I'm like, okay, I went and bought me the camera the next day. When my friend bought the camera, that gym, I went the next day, bought the camera. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get a camera. I'm gonna use it. I mean, like, cool. So I get the camera, and right from the start, like I fell in love with it because like I love technology, and that's one of my things that I always like to do. So I started using my family because I had my little cousin that I took a picture of because I wanted to start practicing there and there, and I wasn't expecting to get any kind of feedback from the picture I took of her, but the picture I took, people were like, this looks like a professional picture, so like I'm like, and it kind of really made me happy, and I'm like, okay, cool, so this was like around mid 2016, mid like throughout like halfway through the year, where like I was like kind of contemplating like, do I want to take it seriously? So by like November 2016, I'm like, you know what? I work at FedEx as a manager, so I'm like, I'm gonna rack up a little money because during the peak season, during December, the hours go up. So you know what? I'm gonna rack up the hours and I'm gonna save up money so I could buy the equipment. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna get a studio. I'm gonna build a home studio in my basement, and I'm gonna get some studio lights. So I invested my money on 2 studio lights, some umbrellas, some soft boxes, some backdrops and this and that. And from that point on, I just started shooting with friends, to get the experience. And that's kind of how I kind of started with photography. It was just kind of by accident. I never really like, I wasn't like one of those 7 years, 8 years, like, what, when I grow up, I'm going to be a photographer, It wasn't nothing like that because I knew I love technology, but it was never specific because technology is so broad. It's so hard to really pick something and understand it, to a point like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So that's one. Some of the photographers that influenced me, because in this day and age, you have social media, which makes it a lot easier to connect with other people. So there was lots of inspiration within the social media, especially with Instagram being a big platform as it is. So people that I would look up to will like be photographers like Brawley or Meech213 or Neri, and the things that I took from them were the where it's like almost like a cinematic kind of visuals where it kind of the colors kind of spoke to you to a point where like for me, like I like vibrant, I like kind of colors that kind of pop, and like it kind of draws the attention, it kind of draws you in. It's like being in it's like almost like having like a like when you're shooting something and you wanna try to get the focus to be on that person, you have certain things that kind of appeal with like the surroundings or the colors, and that's one thing that they're really good at doing. They give good visuals, and like I was someone that wants to give good visuals. So yeah, it's that's those are 3 photographers that I really look up to, and there's plenty more, of course, but like the list could go on.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Unfortunately, I mean, it's not unfortunate. I got a Nikon, okay.
I'm team Nikon too.
And the thing is, like, when I first started, I did my research, and it just so happened that I got Nikon. Whether it been Sony, Canon, I think I would have still, you know, went the same way, the same route. But yeah, I got Nikon, and I started off with when I first got my camera, I didn't go all out. I decided to get like something where I started to get like a lower market one, and it was the Nikon D5500, which cost me approximately like around 600. So it wasn't like a crazy amount of money being thrown.
Yeah.
So because like it was basically kind of an experiment to see if the hobby will turn into something more of a career going forward. So yeah, so like so once I had the camera for like maybe 6 months, 'cause that's when I was contemplating about going professionally mid 2016. Then I decided to upgrade my body, and I got a Nikon D810, which was a little bit more expensive, but it gave me more flexibility with how I want to do my photography. So with the Nikon, D810, it was a wonderful investment.
Yeah.
And one thing I know, one thing I learned early on is the lens were more important than the body itself.
Yeah.
So
that's so true.
I invested more on the lens, beforehand getting the body. So I already had nice lens to go along with the body that I upgraded.
You need to, yeah.
My photography is color, it pops, like you see it and you get the appeal that, it can give you different moods, because it's vibrant. So like you might see like a lot of orange, you might see a lot of yellow, you might see the pinks, like very contrasty colors that just are off the wall. I'm not really afraid to like take risks. That's one thing, because like one thing that helps me with my style is that I hang out with people that are creative. And I learned that early on, like if you surround yourself with people that are like-minded, you will start to get a few things from them. And it works. It can be good and bad. So if you hang with the wrong crowd, you take the wrong things. You hang with the good crowds, you get
who do you hang out with?
So like some ones I hang out with are like I have, because like I'm starting to build a team right now. So one of my friends is Indy. I picture her in a few of my shots in my IG. She's very creative, and the thing is that like she challenged me. She will see things and that I wouldn't see, and because I hang out with her for so much, and there's other friends as well, because I'll start to pick up things that I would never really thought about picking up before in the beginning. It's like the more you hang out with someone, it's just I know you just start doing things that you don't really. You wouldn't do yourself. You wouldn't see yourself doing it maybe a couple months back.
Yeah.
Like I have a different creative thought process now, because I surround myself with creative people that do different things, that are comfortable in doing the things that they love to do.
Yeah.
And my friend, which I met basically a couple months ago, beginning of the year, we just connected. We drove down to VA, for this viewfinder event, where it's basically where photographers and models all come together and network, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's another opportunity, that helps build my style, because like I like to see different people, because I feel like if I stay in one spot too long, then like after a while it'll be redundant. It'll just be the same thing.
Exactly.
And I'm someone that likes to be. I like growth, because I believe that the learning never stops, and the more you see the world, because my end goal is to travel and get paid for it. I love to travel and not get paid. I'm trying to make money, so so like like the style is something that's always growing, because the more I travel, the more people I meet, the more it's gonna evolve with it, for me, and I'm still discovering a lot of things. So, my style is, still going.
That's good.
The pictures, basically, it's just the pictures, because it all goes back to my brand, which is GUI. And what I want people to take from that, from the brand, is basically, visionary. Kind of like having the eye for something, having the eye to create, the eye to kind of see forward, see certain things that people don't want to like don't see, to kind of bring it out there. It's like I want to put something there, and they can just clearly see what's going on, and that's what it is. That's what it is. The most difficult part, I think it probably goes for every photographer, is to get in the marketplace. To actually start getting paid for it, because you can't really. I mean, like you can't really charge if people don't know what kind of work you do.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, it was more of collabing and trying to get the material out to build the portfolio, so people could kind of see what I could bring to the table, what I could offer. So that's what it came down to. And like in the beginning, it was rough, you know, and like beginning it was rough. There was a lot of things I didn't know about the business.
Yeah.
I was charging this and that, and it really would just to get your work out there, it's called competition as well. So competition and trying to find work to pay for the photography. So for me it was a struggle, but like I just kept being consistent. I would collab because I believe that it was the investment that was worth it, because because I like how my pictures speak for itself, because when people see it, they notice that the quality is good. From when I started to now, it's a big upgrade. Because when I first started, I didn't understand everything. I was just experimenting there and there.
Yeah.
Because I would watch YouTube, and I would be there for hours sometimes on YouTube, and that's how you know that I didn't mind doing it, because I wouldn't even notice. I would lose track of time.
Yeah.
I'll just be on YouTube like, damn, why the sun is out already? Stuff like that. So, money is just sort of go back to the bullet points. It would just be getting paid, getting paid clients. Convincing people to invest in you. That's the one thing that's the hardest to do, is to have people invest in you.
Exactly.
And it's still something that is a process, because it's gotten better, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
And I think like the fact that the ceiling is so high, there's always opportunities to get better and better and better.
Exactly.
So I feel like me and my team could really make things happen. I'm already going to LA in June 20th.
Nice.
And I got a group of people that I'm going with. Mentioning it's gonna be my friend Indy, and a couple other friends that we all basically creative directors, stylists, models, and we all coming together to kind of, because like we the one thing is that you want to have people that want to grow.
Yeah.
And all the people that I'm gonna be surrounding myself are people that are like that, and we're gonna be able to try to find a way to put our name out in the map, so people can kind of like see, oh, that's GOI, or oh, that's indie, or this and that. So that's what it is, and that's why I see myself in 5-10 years. I want to see myself, being flown out to, different places, like, because the world is so big, and I just want to see it, because the more I see, the more I will probably, think of, seeing things to create.
Yeah.
And I'll just have a different level of understanding, because the world is big and the culture is so much. There's so much different cultures, to be limited to just one spot.
Yeah.
And I just want to be able to have a business, going, be able to rely on my photography to be a career, to be something where that could be one of my sources of income, to be able to live, a sustainable life,
Yeah.
And the thing is, one thing I learned is that photography isn't only limited just to photography. I look at it at this, like, I'm a photographer, but I'm learning videography as well, and I'm gonna invest in doing art galleries. I'm gonna invest in getting prints to sell my art, to sell my images.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make merch. Because it's all about, because like it all comes to my brand, which is be able to create, be able to see things, be able to have that vision.
Yeah.
So that's itself is a brand to make profit on by doing some merch as well. So I know that as a photographer only, the chances of really making it big might be slim to none. But if you add a couple of those things, photography, videography, a little bit of art shows, some merch, it all kind of comes back together.
Yeah.
And it could just kind of take you from here to right here. So
That's so true.
it's always just thinking outside the box, honestly.
That's true.
So don't be limited just it's photography, you can't really make it out big there. It's all based on how you take it. If you feel like you could do something with it, then you just make it happen. You kind of just have that action of, what, I'm gonna get it done, I'm gonna make it happen.
Exactly.
And a lot of times I don't really have too many people that, in the beginning I didn't really have a lot of believers, be like, oh, photography, you can't really make it because these cell phones are getting much better now, they can do this and that. But I feel like when it comes to the images, it's not about it's not always about the photograph. It's how the edit is done to kind of express, you know, a certain way of that you want your readers to kind of to understand. And the way I express myself and the way I'm continuing to grow and to find more things and how I can express myself is ever changing. You know, it's always a learning process.
Yeah. So, you know, thank you again, MB, for doing this interview. It was awesome. It was great meeting you. And,
no problem, man.
Can't wait.
Hey, trust me, I'm very nervous.
Yeah, no, you did good.
Yeah.
Like, it was very so natural.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah, no,
Thank
it was
you.